We've lots to get our teeth into today, so I'll start by inviting Professor Ehsan Mesbahi to say a few words. Professor Mesbahi is our Vice Principal and Co-Vice Chancellor for the Academic Element of University Business, who joined UWS in 2016 from Newcastle University. Professor Mesbahi ensures the effective delivery of the university's two major KPIs, student success and research and enterprise. That's all he does. His 25-year academic career has seen a wide and ranging and multidisciplinary approach, and across his 25-year academic career, Ehsan has focused on modelling control, design and optimization of engineering systems and technologies related to marine environment. And Ehsan has served in a number of strategic and policy-making committees, and as a scientific and technical advisor to various governments, the European Commission and agencies such as the UN's Marine Environmental Protection Committee. Highly regarded, Professor Mesbahi has achieved many things in his working career, except perhaps that ambition harboured as a small boy to be an astronaut. So perhaps our next keynote speaker, Dr. Susie Mitchell, who will be following Professor Mesbahi, will be able to advise Ehsan on how his rich research and innovation base could let him tackle this wicked problem. Colleagues, I give you Professor Mesbahi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I did not expect that such a glorious presentation that I don't deserve. Brilliant. It's a great pleasure to open the second day of this wonderful conference. The themes of the conference today is no different to yesterday, and the discussion about research-based learning in practice, integrating work and enterprise into curriculum, digital future, state-of-the-art research, tackling global health, society and sustainability. They are all going to be discussed today. But one thing I have to share on a personal note is I've never felt worried and insecure as I'm feeling now, because I think I'm standing in front of an audience who know a lot more than I do. They have a lot more experience than I have. Each one of them has loads of expertise in research, in teaching, in learning, and in a lot of academic practices. So I hope that at the end of my opening speech, you do not add fuel to my three fears of feeling that I'm incompetent, I'm insignificant, or you don't like me. So these are the three fears that everybody has inside and makes us all insecure. So I hope that you won't leave the room with endorsing those three things. I feel a lot more confident. My hand is shaking now. Good. All right. The topic of research enterprise, teaching, learning has been in academia for years and years and years. And something which I came across quite repeatedly in many academic institutions was the word scholarship. Because sometimes I felt it is used and sometimes abused in many different fronts. And what is a scholarship? And I had a discussion with my colleagues. I'm doing scholarly activities. And then I said, what is scholarly activities? So I did some homework on finding scholarly activities. And as you know, there is a Carnegie Foundation for the advancement of teaching. And they are usually embedded into philosophical definition of scholarship. So I did a bit of a survey and analysis of what is happening there. And what Carnegie has done, and they did it in late 1990s, they tried to redefine and broaden the definition of a scholarship, because they felt the 20th century, we cannot stick to the definition of a scholarship which was defined in 17th, 18th or 19th century, so we have to broaden the definition. So they came up with these four, saying that there is a scholarship of teaching, there is a scholarship of integration, scholarship of discovery, and scholarship of application. And the way they define it, they say scholarship of teaching is, first of all, what you teach is the subject that you deliver to your students. The second element of that is how you teach, a general skills in delivery of the knowledge and transfer of knowledge to the audience in front of you. And the third element is how you teach what you teach. This means, are you using special techniques or special ways of delivering the subject which is more specific to your discipline? So these three elements are the definition of the first one. The scholarship of discovery is what we know as pure research. Just discover. Just go ahead and do as much digging into a particular subject as you wish. Explore new ideas, new methodologies, anything which is related to understanding the world better, understanding a problem better. The scholarship of integration is where multidisciplinary comes. This means you have to apply one method in the other one, or one discipline to the other one, and to get better results. And the scholarship of application is when you try to solve wicked problems of the world with the knowledge you have developed and you have created. So when you look at these four, you can see that this is everything that universities do. But the major problem I found in here, similar to the culture we have in Britain, as soon as we see a queue, we try to jump in and stand in there, is that as soon as we define these four strands of scholarship, we try to align ourselves with one and try to say, I am standing in that queue. But what I have been in whole my academic life, I've been trying to understand is that how we can look at everything holistically, how we can look at the things not in saying that I am a discoverer and I'm not a teacher, or I am an integrator, I don't apply my knowledge, I don't know how to do this. I never believed that these four are independent or separate from each other. I'm just asking you, do you see anything in here that could connect these four together? Why do we discover? Why do we teach? Why do we apply these things? And why do we try to integrate? I try to find the one word that we could say is going to connect all these things together without even thinking from the beginning that they were separate from each other in the first place. Because we are not trying to define something that we established this, we defined this. So I came up with this as a scholarship of purpose. So the whole thing comes that why are we discovering things? Why are we teaching things? Why try to integrate different knowledge? And why try to apply them? So it becomes a scholarship of purpose. And that purpose tries to make sure that everything which is in those four boxes try to get together. Sometimes for a particular purpose, you need to do more scholarship of discovery and less teaching. And sometimes you need to do vice versa. What is the purpose of teaching? One would say, I want to make sure my students, my graduates, gets better life, or better career, or better job, or better salary. That's absolutely fine. If this is the purpose, this means I have to align my teaching in that front. But it doesn't mean I'm going to divorce myself from the other three. If I want to prepare students for the better job and better career, I have to give them the front end knowledge. I have to give them the knowledge which helps them to the next 10 years, not to tell them what happened the last 10 years. So the scholarship of discovery comes that I have to be in the forefront of the subject that I'm trying to teach. Application, I have to tell my students how they can apply their knowledge to the real world or wicked problems that Julie is going to talk about, Susie is going to talk about. And also the integration. We all come to the conclusion there is no need even to defend that idea that to solve wicked problems, we cannot solve it with a single approach, with a single discipline. We need a multitude of approaches. We need to get social scientists on board. We need to get artists on board. We need to get mathematicians on board. And everybody needs to come and contribute to the solution, and this is where the integration comes from. So even if I want to say I'm teaching students for the purpose of them having a better life and better future, I can't ignore the other three. It's impossible. Similarly, if you are going to stick to say I'm a researcher and I have nothing to do with the teaching, that is also a wrong approach. What is the purpose of new discovery? You have to disseminate it. You have to allow other people benefit from what you have done. You have to allow other people to integrate what you have done or to apply what you have done. Otherwise, what is the purpose of discovering something new? So this is the whole purpose of that. I always said, maybe there are people in the audience who disagree with me. I do not believe teaching for the sake of teaching and research for the sake of research. I believe all of them should be for the sake of a purpose. And the common purpose at this university that we all joined, I joined this university for the purpose. And the purpose is that, the one thing which hugely affected me was saying that we change people's lives. And changing people's lives, and it's people's lives, it's not necessarily students. We also try to change the life of our academics, our staff, everybody who is associated with university. if I want to use the business language, this is what we do at universities, and each one of them is associated with one of the scholarships that I mentioned before. And this is what we say we change lives. And this is super important, that is the satisfaction that higher education institutions are benefiting the most by changing people's lives. And if we say that this is the common purpose of our university, so we say that those 4 scholarships that come to divide the lines and cues of academics operation have to join and integrate themselves to the scholarship of purpose. And that is how we are going to put them together. When I arrived at university 897 days ago, I noticed that there are 3 major strands of things that we do in here fantastically, both in terms of research and in both in terms of teaching. Everything we do, we try to address health issues associated with the society, the societal issues associated with the regions that we operate, and the sustainability. And the combination of these 3, a healthy society, a societal health, a sustainable society, and healthy sustainability. You can combine them in any way you want. It embraces every technology we touch, every science we do, and any art we try to teach or research at this university. And a scholarship of purpose can try to integrate the 3 themes that this university is very good for into the 3 themes of our corporate strategy that is associated with decision enterprise, global engagement, and student success. So the purpose of this university is to change lives, and we do it through the definition of the purpose, through the addressing the global challenges, the societal challenges, the health challenges, the sustainability challenges, through the metrics and through the pathways that we develop through research and enterprise, global engagement, and our student success. The way I see this through scholarship of purpose, it is define the whole mission of university combined in the 4 categories of a scholarship. I said from day one that I would not entertain any discussion, try to separate these research and teaching and pedagogy and the discoveries. There is nothing there to separate these things. There is no conversation left to do. Academics have argued left, top, bottom. They pulled each other's hair. They disagreed with each other. They punched each other. Is enough. Let us agree on a purpose, that we are all here for the same purpose. And through delivery of those purpose, we use all 4 categories of scholarships to deliver the mission of the university. And there's nothing that's going to stop us doing that. By doing this, it will change the nature of what we do. From a scholarship being a destination becomes a pathway. From being a target becomes a bullet. And from an excuse, it becomes a reason that we are here and we are delivering the university's mission. Because we are here gathered together, we are gathered at higher education institution for the same purpose. And to deliver that purpose, we might do it differently. And there's nothing wrong with it. Because we are academics and we have the liberty of being innovative and creative of delivery of the purpose. But as long as we stick to the line of delivery of the purpose, everything is brilliant. I wholeheartedly believe, and I have been saying this since my arrival at this university, that the academic approach and the way that people think at university to write a module descriptor, to write a scientific paper for a journal, to write an industrial application to work with an industry, to write a business plan for a spin-off company, or to try to solve a wicked problem, or try to write a research grant application, the principal mindset is the same. The approach we take is the same. But the way we propose it, we deliver it, is different. And that is something which I think we should not try to forcefully shape the problem in the categories of a scholarship that we feel comfortable in. We should not try to say that because I am only good in teaching, I am trying to solve every problem and all the purposes with the teaching. It doesn't work anymore. 21st century doesn't work anymore if you want to approach it that way. And universities will lose their relevance to the society that they are thriving in. So I would like to close this presentation by telling you that at this university, to support the scholarship of the purpose, or what we call it academic life at this university, we are providing 5 pillars of the support, and each one of them tries to cover certain areas of academic operation which are associated with every element of that scholarship. But we are doing it in an integrated way. We are not trying to separate these things. We would like to say that once you have identified the purpose of what you want to do at university, we support you, we encourage you, we try to develop a platform of growth for every academic at this university that would be able to deliver the purpose of this university in the shape that they think is the most appropriate one. Do we measure that? Absolutely yes. Can we measure everything? Absolutely not. But we have to find a way to make sure that we are on the right pathway to deliver the purpose of this university is to change people's lives in many different shapes and forms. And in addressing all of that, of course, we have developed a combination of actions, a combination of what has shaped into enabling plans or into a corporate strategy, into many different shapes of policies and principles at university level to make sure that the pathway to achieving our purpose of changing lives, first of all, is clearly understood, secondly, is nicely and appropriately measured, and those parts that we can't measure has been taken into account in a holistic way. I strongly believe that there exists a magical connectivity between all of these things, all of these different scholarships that we all would like to associate are with. And I would like to say that at this university, we would like to be different to the others. And we would like, we're not going to wait for a miracle that things happen at this university from outside. Nothing is going to happen miraculously, because I'm telling you it's not going to happen. Every element of that scholarship needs support. As far as resources are concerned, every part of those scholarships are funded differently through different routes at university, or different routes external to university. And I'm going to challenge you that you will find the magic connectivity between these 4 scholarships to find the best, most optimal, and most successful pathway to achieving the target of this university, or the purpose of this university, which are changing lives. And I'm sure that by all the presentation you have seen yesterday and you are going to see today, you will find that magic connectivity to lead yourself, to lead your students, and to lead your university towards the wonderful purpose of changing lives. Thank you very much.